This is the future.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, Sigval Green here and welcome to another video. So we got the official stats for Wonder Woman's passives and abilities, so that's what we're going to talk about today. They were posted in the Injustice 2 Mobile social media pages, and keep in mind that we can't know for sure anything until we test it out in the game, so my opinions are subject to change, okay? And at the same time, keep in mind that for a lot of us, this will not be the reality for a long time, because those are passives at level and abilities at level 80 and 7 stars, so that might take a while until we get to this peak performance. But nevertheless, let's get into them, and if you enjoyed the video, please do drop a like and the comment because it really helps out. So passive number 1, Strength of the Amazonian. So Wonder Woman and her teammates gain extra critical attack damage based on their current defense, can exceed the cap. You're gonna get to plus 2% crit attack damage for each 1% defense, and it's going to go all the way up to 100% above the cap. So let me explain this. You have 300% crit damage on a normal character. That means when the character triggers a critical hit, it's gonna deal 3 times the damage. Now, if you can exceed it by 100%, it means that instead of 3 times the damage, it's gonna deal 4 times the damage. So that over here alone, it's already huge. And you might or might not have to put defense on her build, because first of all, you're gonna get some defense for free from one of the gears, but you'll need to have 50% defense to max this one out, because it gives you 2% for each 1% defense. And at the same time, they say that Classic Superman is gonna have a passive that gives the whole Classic team some defense. Now, it begs the question if Classic Superman is gonna actually be the best teammate for her, because for example, if the only thing that he gives her is defense, it might be better to put something else in that team, but that remains to be seen in terms of what our passives Classic Superman has and how his rework looks like, and we'll only wait and see. But the thing is, regardless of if she gets that additional defense from Classic Superman or you have to put a little bit more on her build, the fact that you can get all the way up to 100% more crit damage above the damage cap is gonna be huge in terms of damage. Passive number 2, Wisdom of Athena. Wonder Woman and her classic teammates gain extra crit chance against blinded opponents. Can exceed crit cap. So you're gonna get 50% critical attack chance against blinded opponents, no more than 23% above the cap, and you're going to also receive 200% attack against blind opponents. Okay, so there's a few things to unpack. You're going to get an almost guaranteed, first of all, against blinded opponents, and that's gonna be quite easy to inflict, because as we saw from the trailer, Classic Batman, who by the looks of it is definitely gonna have to stay in the team for Wonder Woman to be effective, is gonna give them a chance to blind on swipe attacks. So you're going to have the opponent constantly blinded, and this passive is gonna be pretty much active at all times. And the thing that it says it can go 23% above the cap, that's kind of lame, man, honestly, because I would have loved her to have 100% crit damage and us just not worrying about it, but don't get me wrong, it's still very, very good. It's gonna be 98% crit chance, bro. Watch me using her and still failing half of the crits with that 3% chance to fail. That's 2% actually chance to fail. That's definitely gonna happen. But yeah, she's gonna end up with a total of 98% crit chance, and I think that's pretty much almost guaranteed. I'm wondering why they didn't make it all the way guaranteed. I don't know if that would have been necessarily too bad, but it's not the case, sadly. But still, having a better crit chance is gonna be amazing, because it's gonna make your first passive that much more effective with that in mind. So yeah, already she's looking pretty good. And plus 200% attack against blinded opponents. So 200% is quite a big value, even if it's just base attack. Though again, it's not gonna be that effective in like soul raids from all the attack you get from the artifacts, because it's gonna be 200% base attack. So let's say her base attack at 7 stars is gonna be 3k, she's gonna get an additional 6k when fighting blinded opponents from this ability. And even with maxed out soul raid artifacts, this is still gonna be a decently impactful stat, but this is mostly gonna be impactful for the people who don't have high level soul raid artifacts, so the passive attack they receive is not that high by comparison, and it's also gonna be heavily effective in league rates. So overall, so far, it looks like they kind of struck the balance of making her a viable damage dealer without making her game breaking, so it's looking pretty good so far. Now, believe in Wonder. If Classic Wonder Woman is in your roster, all Wonder Woman Classic heroes gain an extra chance to roll epic talents with chances double that max level. You're gonna get pretty much double the chance for rare epics and legendary talents. But only for Classic and Wonder Woman characters. I mean, look, if you wanted to build any Wonder Woman characters, you might want to hold off to the talents until you get this, and it's gonna be effective when building the Classic team, but at the same time it would be amazing if this extended to your whole roster. I mean, this is not a huge deal, it's gonna save you a bunch of credits indeed, but the only things you're gonna be building in terms of talents is most likely her. And maybe the rest of the Classic team is. The other Wonder Womans are not really worth building, unless you want to do it for fun, which is definitely fine. Love it if this would be applicable to all the characters, because look, even with double the chances, it's still not looking very good for the talents. You know, back to her abilities, this will be Armor Pierce, so that's fine. That's totally fine. Armor Pierce first ability, good in Arena, you're not gonna use this in Soul Raids anyway, or Raids. This thing is gonna have, it's gonna inflict blind by default. So because of this thing, inflicting blind, it kind of removes the need to have Batman in there to give you blind on swipe attacks, like classic Batman, because that's what he's gonna do. So I like this because while you're most likely gonna benefit from Batman being in the team and having that constantly active, this being on a special also allows you to kind of diversify the gameplay and explore with something. So you can still have the full classic team, but at the same time you have the freedom to switch things around and experiment. And the special tree is not gonna do anything but damage. This is slightly disappointing because if you use her as a damage dealer, this will be the main ability you're gonna use. They could have added like a secondary thing that it does. Like, this is literally the only lame thing about this character, the special tree not doing anything. And funny enough, this is the only thing that you're gonna be using to deal damage if you use her as damage dealer. Maybe this one too if you don't have Batman in the team, but again, it remains to be seen how we'll do the team composition. And the super move is not gonna do anything but increase your damage throughout the duration of the battle. So overall, I'm quite pleased with this character. Like, exceeding the crit chance and crit damage cap will most definitely make her better than the Multiverse team. Might make her better than the Just League team. Yeah, most likely she'll be better than the Multiverse and the Just League team, and she will compete with Silver Banshee in terms of damage. But again, I'm just talking crap out of what I see. We can only wait and see how exactly she performs in the game. She's definitely like definitely the best she's gonna be able to do is be better than the Multiverse team, Just League team, and Silver Banshee team. I don't think she goes further than that, but that's fine. We got a character that shifts the meta a bit. It's gonna be a cool character. It's gonna be most likely an arena season or challenge character. It's gonna be in the top 6 teams most likely, and it's not game breaking. So actually, I'm very, very pleased with the way the abilities for this character looks. The only thing that remains to be seen is how she actually works in battle. A thing to mention is that for most of you, she will not perform this well for a very long time because those are level 7 abilities. And it's gonna be weird to build her in anticipation for having those at level 7, definitely. But yeah, quite pleased overall with the character. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. And with all that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye!
This is the future.